What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. I have been absent again for quite some time due to the fact that I broke my hand. As you saw in the last video, I showed you my hand was pretty messed up. The day after, I went and got x-rays to come to find out that I broke my hand more in depth. I fractured my 4th and 5th metacarpal. About 12 days ago, I went and got surgery. Just the other day, I went and got my stitches and casts removed, and they put me in this nice hand brace, which was pretty expensive, that I will now be wearing for the next 6 to 8 months. So I'm currently on medical leave, short-term stability at my main job, and hopefully I can pick up detailing within the next week or so, because I've been so bored sitting at home watching these same YouTube videos over and over again, and I just want to be as active as I possibly can be. But in this video, I got some final Skyline update for you guys, and also we will be reviewing the Skyline's auction history. A huge shout out to Lucas at Team Free Spirit for supplying me with the information. So the last update I gave you guys on the Skyline was we dropped it off to Fine Art to get the custom intercooler and intake piping fabbed up, which they did. The pipes look great. I haven't seen it in person yet. I know it looks pretty dirty, but when we get this Skyline back, I'm gonna give it a nice, clean detail. They also modified the ISR downpipe for me. We added the O2 bung for the O2 sensor for the AFR gauge. We added the 4-inch vibrant flex pipe to release any excess tension on the new turbo, because we can't have that. And Edwin also recommended we add an extra exhaust hanger because the ISR downpipe doesn't utilize the OEM exhaust hanger from the OEM downpipe. So that's all done. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm pretty sure it looks good. Edwin called me about 4 days ago and told me that the Skyline is pretty much 99% done. They have all the remaining parts installed. They have all the sensors plugged in. They did their cable management. I think they tidied up the bay a little bit for me. But he told me as they were doing the compression and leak down test that the Skyline was running beautifully, but then all of a sudden the Skyline shut off for whatever reason, and now it cranks, but it won't turn over. So they're thinking it's like a hot wire issue to the ECU. Hopefully nothing serious, like anything internal, but he sounded pretty confident it was a wiring issue. So again, cross my fingers, all is well. Once the Skyline is back and running consistently and can operate under ambient temperature, we will get the Skyline tuned. And like I mentioned in my last video, I did pick up the GoPro Hero 9 because a lot of you have been requesting all the point of view footage. And now it's time for the Skyline's auction history report. By no means is this a sponsored part of the video or a call out to the importer I went through for bad service. I was just genuinely curious to know the history of my Skyline, if it was for sale at the auction house and or if it was purchased through a private owner. I was just genuinely curious. Again, just want to give a huge shout out to Lucas at Team Free Spirit for providing me with all the information. I gave him $35 USD and the Skyline's VIN, and he came back to me within 5 minutes and provided all the useful information I'm about to show you guys. So some advice I can give you before we move on: if you are wanting to import or buy a car from an importer, always ask for the VIN. There's a ton of information in the VIN. Of course, you can know if the car has been resprayed, if there's any serious rust, if it's been in any accidents. Paying Team Free Spirit a small fee of $30 or $35 could save you tens of thousands in the long run. All right, so here are the 3 pictures Lucas sent me of my Skyline at the USS Tokyo auction house. So as you can see, the Skyline honestly looks immaculate in pictures. Looks like it was freshly painted and or just washed. The front end looks great. The rear end looks great. I got it with no logos, so that was pretty interesting to see. Pretty much bone stock other than the GTR wheels, and I got like upper control arms and a Mines aftermarket ECU. And as you can see from the interior, is honestly pretty immaculate. There is a small dash bubble which I got rid of, and there was this normal wear and tear on the e-brake boot and the shift boot. So now here are a handful of pictures I took of the Skyline a couple days after I received it from shipping. So as you can see, the exterior is pretty mint, as well as the interior. When I got the Skyline, I didn't know that the passenger side taillight was cracked. I don't know if that happened through shipping from Japan to the US or from Washington to Arizona, but it was cracked. But other than that, I got the car sight unseen, and Carlos, who sold me the car from R32 Specialties, kept true to his word. Paint was flawless, other than like a handful of small minor dents and scratches on the Japanese driver's side, and a little, again, scratch and dent on the passenger side as well. All right, now here are where things get very interesting. So here is one of 3 of the data sheets from the USS Tokyo auction house Lucas provided me. Mind you, the first sheet is in Japanese, but he translated it for me but didn't send me the English copy, so I'll go ahead and do my best to translate it to you. So we're looking at the data sheet now. 2000cc HCR32 was graded a 3.5C, which I thought was pretty low for its condition, but the Japanese have their own auditing at the auction house. 4-door, it is a GTS-T, not a GTS Plus T. I was happy to see that it is an original kilometer car, so the tach wasn't taken out at all. Looking at 82,000 kilometers is what I got the Skyline at. It currently now has 90,000 kilometers, so roughly 55 to 56,000 miles. Still running like a champ. In the middle, we see 33 GTR AW. I'm assuming those are the wheels it came on, which are also for sale. If you are local in Arizona, hit me up. Now looking at the bottom portion of the page, there's a lot of Japanese on the left side and on the right side of the car. So pretty much, Lucas told me there's no rust, no accident history report, which is awesome. There are some blemishes on the car. Of course, the rear bumper was resprayed. On the driver's side, there are minor scratches and dents, and then on the passenger side there were like minor scratches and dents as well, but when I got the Skyline resprayed, we did fix all that. So now we will go through the other auction sheets. The Skyline was at 2 auction houses, but we'll go through the, I guess, most recent one. So this is the auction sheet for the US Tokyo. Auction date was August 8th, 2019. 2019 is the year I got the Skyline. I did purchase the car in November. Got chassis, brand, model, mileage, they just rounded it up. Engine CC, the year is in 1990. Grade, a GTS-T, it is a Type M. Transmission F5, I'm assuming that means manual. Starting bid price, 18,000 yen. So that's about 153 US dollars starting, which is crazy. And then condition 3.5 out of 4, which is still pretty good. Status available. I do not know how much they got this car for. I'm assuming it was pretty cheap since the start price on it was $153. I want to say they got this car probably anywhere between 4 to maybe 65, 7 grand. And then you have to take in consideration that usually shipping fees and broker fees, importing fees usually run between $300 to $4,500. So here is the final data sheet for the Nissan Skyline. So the Skyline was at 2 auction houses, again, USS Tokyo, and now this one is at NNA Tokyo. So this was back in October 9th, 2009, and we're talking 13 years ago when no one really cared about these cars and or importing them. They were used for scrap metal and purchased super low. This just blew me away. So everything is pretty much the same except for the mileage was at 60,000 kilometers. Who knows, maybe it was actually around 52,000 kilometers. Everything is the same, start price 0, but look at that finishing price. 57,000 Japanese yen. So if you convert that into USD, you would get $492.64. Which is like, I mean, for a car of that caliber, $500 for that car, a turbo manual sedan at a condition 3.5 out of 4 is insane. And if you look at the very bottom where it says status unsold, that just blew me away. And I was having a long conversation with Lucas about these cars 13, 15 years ago. Louis told me that people just use these cars to store things in, used for scrap metal, extra parts, and these cars were literally worth $500 And at that price, you couldn't even give away these cars, which is insane. Well, that's just for the R chassis. I'm sure even the S chassis were dumb cheap. Even, I know like the Toyota chassis, the JZX chassis still went for like thousands, but not tens of thousands. And I know like the S15s, even back then, were like $9,000, maybe $12,000, which is insane. I mean, if I could go back in time and just buy all the HCR 32 chassis, oh my gosh. Like $2,000 can get you 4 immaculate cars, which is insane. It blew my mind once I read that. But that's pretty much all the data that I got from Team Free Spirit. Again, a huge shout out to them. Again, if you are importing a car or buying a car from an importer, please get that VIN. It'll save you the headache and again, a lot of money potentially in the long run. So that is all I have for you guys today. I'm gonna do my absolute best to put out content. I'm gonna try to do a detailed job, which I'm pretty stoked for this weekend. This upcoming Friday will be my 2 weeks after surgery, so I can put more pressure on my hand. And I will keep you guys as updated as I can with the Skyline. I'm so eager to get my car back. Pretty much at this point, we overhauled the whole undercarriage, brand new arms, brand new braking components, brand new interior. We resprayed the whole car. We got the car fitted with a VN Sports kit and D-Max kit. And now the whole, well, not the whole, but a majority of the engine bay has been overhauled. New hoses, a complete reseal on the RB20. Got a new turbo, new fueling, and all of the above. So I'm incredibly stoked. We dropped off the Skyline back on December 4th of 2021, and it is now February 15th, 2022. But since I want them to do their absolute best, I told them to take their time, but now I really want the car back so I can put out more content. But other than that, guys, thank you so very much for your continued love and support. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me and I will leave a link or the Instagram to Team Free Spirit. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, aim high, drive low, and we will catch you next time. Take care.